Hey, for Monday, March 16th, 2020, this is the Pro and the Con Show, and I'm your host, Michael James Ott. The purpose of the show is to try to encourage us to be better citizens and for me to at least touch on some of these information sources and make sure that at least there's some availability of something that resembles some unbiased information. So remember, the news is simple. It's the who, the what, the where, and the when. And then you decide. Don't listen to the talking heads. There's people screaming on television network shows, or they're throwing all kinds of opinion and, really, actually, totally inappropriate language for journalists. All right, journalists are supposed to be unbiased, factual people that don't inflame emotion. And there's so much that you see in these various posts, these various websites, the various so-called news channels on television. It's just meant to inflame, and be good citizens. Please, please, please be good citizens. Well, today's show is called Crash, and we are in some record-breaking territory right now. So this coronavirus has really had a global impact, and it's really causing a lot of uncertainty, and of course uncertainty makes the stock market, which is based completely on emotion and almost zero basis on anything regarding data. It's one of the reasons why I hate the stock market, and I personally often hesitate to have any money in the stock market at all, because it's just based on emotion. And why would you bet your life savings on emotion, especially on the day-to-day trivialities of what goes on? But in any way, stock market, they're calling it now the crash of 2020, and it began a week ago, March 9th. And that was the largest point plunge of the Dow. Of course, the Dow is a much bigger number now than it was, 100 years ago, 150 years ago. But on the point record, it was the largest one. And then, today, March 16th, the stock market, the Dow, actually dropped on a bigger percentage basis than it ever has on a single day. So the number is so let's see here. Okay, so today, March 16th, the Dow hit a new record. It lost just under 3,000 points. That day's plummet was 12.93%. And that actually tops the original October 29th or October 1929 Black Monday slide of 12.8% for a single session. So there it is. So we've set a new record, not only on a point basis, which makes sense because the numbers are much bigger than they used to be, but on a percentage basis, we set it because of the fear around this coronavirus, and it's a fear that's both real, in that we have to take this seriously and do the right things as citizens, which is this whole social separation kind of thing. We really need to do this. We need to wash our hands a lot, try to avoid touching our faces, and stay separated from each other by 6 or 8 or 10 feet, whatever we can afford to do on a regular basis. And other things, like if we feel any symptoms at all, need to go ahead and isolate ourselves from everybody else. All these things. And because if we don't do that, then we really are going to be in a tremendous difficulty. Now, this economic downturn that's going to be caused by us shutting down everything, that's going to eventually subside, of course. But we don't want to have millions and millions of people die because we allow this virus to spread way too fast, and it overwhelms our health system. This is one of the things that's going on in Italy. They've had hundreds and hundreds of deaths there because in regions in Italy, it is totally overwhelming their healthcare system. So normally a good healthcare system normally handles, the normal, volume of healthcare issues, fairly easily, plus or minus. Okay, I'm sure there's surge in there, but now they've had so many cases, and this thing about the virus is it really can be very serious in very local regions. And in fact, there's a family in New Jersey. Apparently, they had a dinner together, and one of the family members had the coronavirus and brought this to the dinner and infected all the family. And now, I guess there were 8 or 10 people at this dinner. 3 of them have died, and 4 more are still hospitalized in serious conditions. So, it's odd how this virus can attack various people or various regions of people, but it is indeed serious. So we're going to have this ongoing crash, and who knows how much worse the stock market's going to get. I've seen numbers that suggest 40 to 45% off of its all-time highs that were set just weeks ago. This is just various people that deal with stocks on a regular basis, I think because it's a guess and it's all based on emotion, and it all comes down to, at some point, people will look at it and say, okay, I'm not scared anymore. This epidemic is what it is. This pandemic, it is what it is. I recognize what it is, and yes, there's going to be economic hardship and loss of jobs and so on and so forth. But I look at the stock market, and I judge the costs of the stock prices right now to be fairly low. I'm confident that they're going to go up in the future. Therefore, they start putting money in, they start buying stocks, and that's what's going to happen. But anyway, so that's the reality of it. Is the coronavirus is real, despite Mr. Trump telling us otherwise, even up until just moments ago. But it seems like he's finally come on board and started to tell people regularly the truth on this issue, and thankfully there's some of the staff around him have been doing a fairly good job getting us in a better way, and that's caused the crash. And we'll just have to get through it, just like we've gotten through all the other crashes that we've had in the past. This too we will overcome. So for the Pro and Con Show for Monday, March 16th, 2020, I'm Michael James Ott. Thanks for watching. Until the next show, bye for now.